let's see how this goes. Let's see if he's not on the phone.
Hey, son.
Hi.
Hey. How are you?
I'm better hearing your voice, truthfully.
Yeah, I thought I'd upset you or something.
No. No, I think we were shifts passing through the night because I kept missing you, and I didn't want to text you because I wanted to talk to you instead, but I actually unironically just got a ride from Kizu, and she got a text, and I said, is everything okay? And she said, yeah, your father was texting me. And I said, oh, which one? And she told me that it was you. So I was gonna call and say hi, and I figured if you didn't answer, I was gonna go down to the marshal's office anyway, because I heard from Etta that apparently you got a job. So
Yeah, I got a job. Yeah.
are you down there right now?
No, I'm just driving from home.
Okay. I wish I knew. I was just in Polito, funny enough.
You wanna meet up somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. Where do you want to go?
Um, what's your ping?
It's 3.
Okay, big man, number 3.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a ping.
All right. Give me a ping. I'll
All right, you got something to drink? I'm thirsty.
I do actually, yeah.
All right, I'll yeah, bring that for me. I'm thirsty.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll see you in a minute.
I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, you good?
Just letting you know I'm good.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. I just hung up with my dad. I haven't talked to him in about a month since before the ICU. So I'm going to meet up with him and talk with him for a few, and then I should be around. I was going to talk with Maggie too, but I told her I was going to hold off for a minute while I spoke to my dad, because again, I haven't talked to him in a month. So once I do that, I can give you a call back.
Okay. Hey, good luck. If you need me to come up there, whoop his ass. I'll beat his old ass. I don't give a fuck.
I'm hoping this goes better than I'm expecting it to go.
Okay.
So guess we'll see.
All right. Well, I'm here for you, bud.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This could only go one way. What are the odds of running into Kizu there, man? Holy shit. Well, might as well get this ready. Oh, let's see what I got. Throwing a song and just hope for the best. Nah, Flop was given he was given permission to wear the what do you call it, but he's not gonna, you know. Now we wait for the ping. All those cigarettes, I was trying to take them out of the packs. It might be 10 years before we see this ping, but I don't actually know how this conversation is going to go. I don't even have the inkling of thought to have any idea how this could possibly go. If I told you truthfully that I actually see this going negatively, I would not be lying. I see this going horribly for flop. This car is fucking slow. No. Richard is fucking slow. Richard is slow. We love that Richard motherfucker, but that man's fucking molasses right now. Oh yeah, Richard is the definition of we'll get there when we get there. 5 below. I'm gonna say right now, if Richard pings me to the lighthouse, I'm gonna fucking scream. Why? For reasons. I don't want to listen to this fucking song. It's a good song. I was kind of hoping that we were gonna get a ping sooner. Uh, hey,
Yeah, mate. Sorry, it took me a while, like bloody traffic, but I was just on the phone to your dad. Your dad's around. He's gonna come down if that's all right.
Sure.
I'm just staying at the I'm staying in Mirror Pole by our old house. Remember the benches down in Mirror Pole, the picnic benches.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, I'm just on the phone. Yeah, we'll be all right.
Just be careful over in
Yeah.
Mirror Park.
Okay. Yeah. We're having a chat.
I know, just be careful. I'm on my way.
All right.
All right, I'll see you soon, all right?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, you guys are saying, oh no, Mirror Park. What most of y'all probably don't know is that this bench that Richard has Flop going to right now is the bench where Richard was kidnapped after Flop asked to have a meeting with him for a friend, where Flop was set up too, and Richard was kidnapped and tortured back in 2.0. But Flop doesn't fucking remember this. Sock, you're a prick. You know that? That exact bench in that exact... okay. Yeah, I didn't think it could get worse than the lighthouse. I was wrong. Hey, Flop. Hey.
Son.
How you guys doing?
We're all right. How are you?
Truthfully, better knowing that I see you on a hospital bed. You feeling okay?
Yeah. Not too bad. Yeah.
Anything? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You've got some blood on your arm. What happened?
Do I?
You just fall over or something?
I was parking a car and I was running. I did get clipped by a local.
Okay.
I don't know if it was that.
You all right though?
Yeah. I'm all right. What's going on?
Well, I mean, you got anything to tell us?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Dad, I don't know if you got my text. I didn't text you, Dad. I didn't know you were out of the ICU until very late. But, you guys okay if I have a cigarette?
I mean, they'll kill you, but I mean, you're your own man. You make your own choices. Even if they're the wrong ones. Okay. Uh, Flop. I don't. How do I say this? The other day you tried calling me multiple times, and for context, Maple had given me your number, and this was a while back. I guess when you had gotten a new number and told me, don't put him under Flop. You know, put him under something else. I was like, you know what? Great. That's easy. I'll put him under Sunny, Sun with the U. And then Sunny, you know, the guy that wears the pumpkin mask,
Moonstar?
Moonstar. Yeah,
Oh god.
he started showing up, and I started seeing his name on Twitter. And when I was in a pursuit and I got a call from Sunny,
You ignored
um,
it.
well, it was like it's just Sunny. It's not urgent, you know? Like he's
Sure.
gonna ask me if there's a warrant out for his arrest. And then it dawned on me that it was you, and I called you back. Strangely, because you know how infrequent that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that by that point you had you'd gone to sleep. But I want you to know I did not intentionally ignore you. I just in my autopilot mode, just I saw Sunny because I saw Sunny's name on Twitter shortly before. For I wouldn't even know how he would have gotten my number, but long story short, that's what
It wasn't
happened
in the
there.
moment. I get that. I mean, to be honest with you, I was calling you kind of about what I'm sure people have informed both of you about. I wanted to kind of talk to both of you face to face before I did it, but I all regard to that, that's fine. I'm not upset about that. Uh, Yesterday was my last day at the PD. I didn't quit. I didn't walk out with a middle finger. I simply wanted to retire. And when I look at the people we have that come through the PD, it would be wrong not to make a very gross, sad assumption that the two ways people go out is with a middle finger or with a bullet. And I didn't want either of those to be me. But I had my reasons, and they were not with the intention of having anything negative, I guess. There were things with the PD in itself that I respectfully don't agree with.
Like it being a meat grinder.
It is a meat grinder. It really is. Where we are right now should have been happening 6 months ago, but that's I digress. I'm gonna be honest. When you were in the ICU, Dad, I took another day off of work. I had just come off of my stuff with Hydra,
Mm-hmm.
and the day I planned to go back was the day I heard you had your incident. And I visited you, and I said, I can't do this. I'm not ready. And I gave it a full day before I said, you know what, I want to go back. Within 2 hours of being on duty, I dealt with 3 homicides. And by the third one, I had to walk by your room many times. And I walked into the corner where the cafeteria is. Not in the cafeteria, but in the cubby. And for the first time in my professional career, I sat on the ground in the middle of the hospital and proceeded to bawl my eyes out. And that scared me. And I wiped my tears away and finished what I had to do. And I said, I can't do this. I need to go. And this was a bad day to come. This was a bad day to work. And while I was driving back to the PD, I received a call from Dr. Bordier, who told me that Tessa was in the ICU and that I was one of her emergency contacts. Between myself, you, 3 homicides, and Tessa, realized that I did not feel like I was capable of doing my job for the first time. And I put my gear up and I visited Tessa. And I want to say it was either that day or the day after. I spoke with Sky. And I told her that I had a lot of worry for my family and the way that I conducted myself in uniform. And didn't want my name to be remembered in the PD as, you know, the senior who failed to do his job, or the senior who struggled to pull over a member of Hydra, or insert whatever. And I went into the PD with a smile on my face, and I wanted to retire with a smile on my face. And to be honest, I wanted to take that time to look after you. And I mean, I respectfully, I didn't even realize you got a job with the Marshals. But I'm happy for you. And I guess I didn't realize you were going to be so quick to get back to work. But your choices wouldn't have changed my outcome. I still wanted to do this for myself. And if there's a time down the road where the PD ever changed, who knows where I'd be. But truthfully, right now, I don't see my heart with the PD anymore. And I don't hold grudges on anybody. So I'm sorry it took this long to tell you guys, because I know that was a big choice, but I haven't seen you.
This is the thing, like, your reasons for, well, you know, I wouldn't speak for Matt, but I don't care that you want to leave the PD. You know, your choices are your own to make. I just, you know, I heard it from bloody Peters, for God's sake.
Tyler Peters?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's not, again, it's like we had that conversation before I went into hospital. If you don't feel like PD's the right fit, or you're not fit to do your job, or any reason, like, it doesn't matter. You've put in a lot of hard work and dedication, and you've done this shit a service that not a lot of people can match. And you know, you've earned your right to retire, so you don't have to explain anything. Um, yeah.
I you don't owe us an explanation. At the end of the day, although at some point all three of us were police officers working alongside each other, things have changed. The environment's changed. The general landscape of the PD. I'm I'm gonna be real, and I was having this conversation yesterday, the day before. I feel like I'm having this conversation just about every day.
Uh-huh.
Um, there isn't much keeping people here in the police department. Um,
Agree.
in saying that, I understand why people would want to leave. And again, I don't fault you in the slightest. You're an adult. You make your own decisions for the same reason that I can walk away from a situation when I know my mental can't take it, right? Like, nobody should be upset if I have to walk away from something because I know if I continue, I'm going to go down a path that I should not be going down. If you find that what you're doing is too much, if you find that whatever it is you're doing, your heart's not in anymore, you have to do what's best for you there. Nobody should tell you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, c- sorry. Uh, can I ask what you told the PD your reason was for leaving?
When I spoke with Sky, I explained to her how I broke down, and I explained to her how I feel like I failed to do my job, and I believe it was something along the lines of when I heard that you had hypoxia, and I was told that there
Mhm.
was a chance you may not remember anybody. I uh, had a very traumatic response because I also had a time where I forgot the people I loved, and I will never have those memories. And I said that if it was my dying wish, I don't want the PD to be my scapegoat, put the time into the people I care about. And as long as I have keys to that building, I will find the excuse to step away. But the reality is that uh, not having the excuse to walk through those doors gave me a sense of comfort, considering everything else that happened. And gave me the time to know that you were okay.
How?
How what?
How did it give you the time to know that I was okay?
I couldn't focus on work. And with some of my feelings to the PD, the meat grinder, it did not help my comfort or feeling wondering how you were going to be. I literally walked by your ICU room, sat in the corner of a hospital, and cried. The job didn't help me.
probably safe to say when you're doing this job, you don't have much time for much of anything. And I say that as somebody who almost feels guilty sitting here, knowing that there's 3 other units out there.
I'd rather just a- ask you directly, son, because I don't know whether I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth. Somebody text me saying that when you announced your retirement, you said that you had been spending time off duty with me.
Huh? Excuse
Is
me? No,
is that
no, no,
true,
no, no,
or-
no, no, no. Who texted you that? Because that is wildly fucking false. Is
so it's
someone?
not true?
No. The only time I spent with you was when you were in the ICU and I slept on the floor. I am currently standing in front of you for the first time in what I believe is about 3 weeks. I've wanted
Okay.
nothing more than to see you. And I didn't know how to respond when you answered the phone.
You sure? Because, I mean, I texted you a week ago.
Mm-hmm. If you saw my text, I specifically wanted to talk to you. And I'm sorry that it took a week to respond, but I had full
You said,
plans
I
on...
intended on calling you. You just said, I had full plans on calling you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about actually doing it.
I haven't seen you.
I've called you a lot of times and I haven't seen you.
I'm sorry.
I'm not mad or anything. It feels like something. Are you upset with us or me, or is something going on that you're not telling us?
Are you asking in reference to why I didn't text you back?
Anything? I don't. Anything.
I retired. I wanted to spend time with my family. I almost died for the police department, hence my really great scar on my neck. And I asked myself, I said, if I had a second chance at life, what would I change? My job was the first thing. I about died for a conflict that I know nothing about. And I begged 6 people with guns to allow me to call and say my goodbye to my family. Because I expected to die. And instead they fed me to a mountain lion and told me that the best version of me was when I was a park ranger. My job was not something I was going to stay for.
Yeah, understand that.
More specifically, you remember Officer Aziz?
Yeah, he was murdered.
Remember James Rooker?
Murdered?
Did you attend their funerals?
No,
Nobody did.
I didn't even know when they were.
They never
I didn't remember
happened.
seeing it in that. What?
If I died, if history repeated itself, in 2 weeks, my name would have been forgotten about, and the city that I fought for would have continued moving. Just like we did with Aziz, and just like we did with Rooker. And respectfully, I did not feel that it is in my best interest to explain to my high command that we should be giving an hour out of our day to contribute the thanks to the service of the ones that fall. To have both of them just get forgotten about. People that I worked beside broke my heart. And I was going to be another statistic. Maybe a photo on the board for a few weeks. We're so busy stopping people stealing quarters from dryers and washers. But we can't take 60 minutes out of our day to say goodbye to the ones that we work beside. And maybe on the more sinister note, and I'm not saying this as a dig, but Matt, and I mean this genuinely out of the fullest amount of respect, used an analogy a few months ago about a cog in a wheel. And I have never in my career as an LEO felt more replaceable. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that that was one of the biggest reasons for why I decided to step away. I didn't feel this current structure was worth dying for.
Okay. Again, I think me and Matt aren't gonna question you on that. We want you to be safe and alive, and if this is the choice you want to make, then so be it. But I want to know whether or not you're okay with me and with us, and so can you okay? What's this guy?
I don't know. This dog is cute.
A very cute dog. So we're having a private conversation. There's two other benches. Two other benches.
Is Max's legislation about locals still in place?
No, they're people again. So let's move. We'll move benches, sir.
Here you go.
Thank you.
It's all yours.
Damn, it was really like this bench.
To answer your question though, I'm okay, and I'm safe.
And you're okay with us?
I am. Um, I do have a question.
Right.
We've had some problems recently, obviously with the family, hiccups and concerns. Matt, I know with, I guess whatever happened with Etta, it was with good intention, based on
Mm-hmm.
things you had going on, and I don't want to conflict you. Is there anything regarding the family that is of concern in this moment that isn't already on the table?
How you doing?
I mean, for me, the whole the, the whole Rue stuff that happened, I find that to be very problematic.
I don't agree with it. I won't lie, respectfully. Judas, based on the very, very little bit that I know, if you need me to stop talking, you can tell me.
I don't want to hear anything about it.
Okay.
I don't like that immediately upon whatever happened, Rue wanted to speak to me. Because there's no good that's going to come of a conversation regarding anything she could have said at that time.
I don't disagree. And like I said, I don't agree with what happened. It was problematic. And I tried not to ask too many questions because I wasn't there for the conversation that I guess the family had. And I wasn't there obviously, for whatever happened. Um, as long as there is, I'm going to call it the understanding that even though I severely disagree with what happened, that Rue is still my daughter. I do not want to be judged for still caring for my daughter.
Good news, I'm pregnant again.
Okay, let me ask you this.
The tax credit alone pays for the first 3 months of diapers.
Let's say tomorrow I'm on duty.
And I've narrowed
Something
the case down
happens.
to 2 guys.
In ruins it being responsible for shooting me.
Baby socks, please, Mom. Bye.
Then what?
Yeah, that's something that's going to bother me. That's a horrible what if, and it is a strong possibility.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm still expected to just respect that.
No.
Could be me too. I'm right across the street at this point.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said it could be me. ADMC are already starting problems with the marshal. So, could be either of us.
I know. I heard from one of them that apparently someone had yelled at you yesterday.
I really tried.
I know.
Because I don't want... Like, I don't want anything to happen with that group. Because... I can't get into details, son, but... Yeah, Angel's not the director, sorry. She's not messing around.
If the rumors are true about the marshals and the kind of equipment that you guys are being provided, I'm not making any form of defense whatsoever. But even I have concerns about a State Department having access to tanks. Marshals don't have a perfect image because they're sort of an unknown entity to a lot of people. They're still unknown to me.
That's fair.
So that is not
Also getting
sorry, go
a
ahead.
bit off topic.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not speaking for anybody, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend to have a defense. But from what I've heard, I'm not personally surprised if people have an initial negative response.
Bro, c- call, sorry, bro called me yesterday. Um, she, for some reason is already questioning why I'm a marshal.
Really hard, and you travel a lot, and you're married with kids.
I gave her my answer
Look, I know
and
that
she
you
still
ride with
questioned
people
why.
and walk dogs all day.
Can I ask what your?
And
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My life is spent scraping food
I,
off plates
I'll
and
be
cleaning
honest,
off of sidewalks.
I was short with her. Um, and I'm gonna be short with her given how we left things off. I'm just, I'm, I'm distancing myself because, it's very clear that I'm the one who, at least for the majority of this family, has got the differing ideals. So, and proving my point, really, calling me up and questioning why I'm a cop again, without even knowing the legislation or even reading it.
Um, she told me that you guys spoke. She didn't go into context. I I do want to bring this to kind of a forefront. So, first off, you don't owe her.
Effing coochie, now give me an effing part.
You don't owe her any answer. You're not required to. Um, Rue was also in Sanguine. That thing I said about people who have assumptions, respectfully, me being one of them. When you hear State Department and tanks, and you're talking to somebody who dealt with a State Department and tanks, I think it's fair to say that she won't have an initial positive reaction to it.
To be clear, though, Richard mentioned she asked why he's a cop. Am I right in saying that?
I can't remember the exact specifics. No, I think she knew I was a marshal. She did know I was. She was asking. I think she said I heard you were a state marshal. So
And
she
the
was just
only
asking why. She just wanted to know why I was doing it. I said because it's the right thing. And she was like, "Yeah, but why?" And you know, basically she was saying, "But you guys have tanks, and you know, it goes against Stadium C in the club, and yeah,
and try to hold police accountable when
right."
they screw up. Not if, but when they screw up.
That's
But
exactly
that
what I
seems
said.
to get glossed over.
I'll be honest. I'm being honest here. I called her out for having a selfish attitude. Because all she looked at, and all I spoke to, I don't know whether I said the same thing when I spoke to Tally too. I know I think this was just rude, but this is the issue people have: is all they see is how it affects them, and not how it affects the whole.
I was saying, how are you? Whatever,
Because,
don't worry about
like, the investigation side of things into criminal organizations, yeah, that's going to happen. But I think that primarily it's, at least for me, and I think for the most part, that most of our work so far has been into the police department. And I think that's what it's mostly going to be. All the people are going to see is how it's going to affect them and that gang or that group.
I don't disagree. But I do think again, the point of concern, 'cause she brought up tanks, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't spoken with her about how she really feels about things. She still deals with trauma, bad, bad trauma from Sanguine. And it truly sounds like she's somewhat gun shy to the thought of that being next to where she is. I don't think that it's specifically the gang concern. I feel like if her concern was what you have access to, then yeah, I mean, my initial concern is why would you need tanks? Me personally, an LEO who didn't go to Sanguine for my own reasons.
I think that the simplest answer I can give is June 3rd.
Do third?
June 3rd. What happened?
I don't know.
50 civilians armed with firearms stormed City Hall. But they didn't find what they were looking for. They went to Mission Row, broke their way in, and nearly killed 10 to 12 police officers and robbed all of their equipment. That's what the APCs are for. Moments like that.
I don't mean to cut this short, but I do have to get going. And I'm just gonna. I feel it appropriate to mention this regarding Rue. I can respect that you've chosen Rue, as your daughter. No issue with that. None. However, I don't see myself having any kind of relationship with Rue, nor do I wish to speak to her.
Completely
Given
fair.
what's happened.
I wouldn't expect you to.
I'll just leave it at that because, unfortunately, I don't see myself in. I don't see our mindsets ever being in line. Yeah. Plop, love you.
I love you
Okay.
too.
And if you need something, please let us know.
I will. You got my word on that. Just know whatever, ends here or whatever is to the future to come up, I will always love and care about you guys. And I mean that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get going. I'll leave you two to it.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy, honey. So, what's your plans now? And you're a free man.
Yeah. You want me to be blunt with you?
Yeah. Always.
I want to make sure that you are good. I want to be there for you. I'm currently working on getting to know that Mosley guy, so he can teach me the ropes on being a mechanic, because I recently got a job at Milton's. Um, and I have intentions on trying to do the things that make me happy. Because since 2021, when I got the job as an officer,
No, stay over there. I don't want to be responsible for a coronary.
I put the things that I did enjoy wherever were really things that I guess I cared about aside so that I could focus on protecting everybody and doing the job. And I couldn't tell you the last time I ever took a step back to try and find myself again. Only been 24 hours, so not gonna sugarcoat it, but kind of hard to find my niche knowing that I am just starting to make fresh connections again.
What are you saying?
What do you mean?
What see, what did you leave behind? Sorry, maybe I misunderstand it. When you became an officer, what did you have to leave behind? Like you mean like tow trucking?
No, I mean, I was a tow truck driver.
Yeah.
I don't have intention on going back to it, but how much do you know about who I was before
Bring
I
your
joined the
tambourine
PD?
over and we'll like rock out.
Because I don't remember what I told you.
That was a long time ago, son.
I know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't imagine you know much, unless somebody's told you.
I mean, there's really, it's hard to say because I lost my memories, and I don't know necessarily when we started to get to know each other. Um, but I was a mechanic up at Harmony, and I always had a passion for cars, and I always had a passion for things that I loved. And I won't lie, I've always been a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. But that's as far as I ever went. When you become an officer on this island, Ed, anybody that knows you feels like they can't. Not for anything that you did personally or I did personally. But PD has a stigma because people don't understand it. I got a job at Milton's so I can meet people, have conversations,
That's nice.
relearn about just what people do. And I'll tell you, my first day, this city's changed a lot in 5 years. It's so much more different than what I remember.
You still owe me a drink.
That's a good, good job.
It is. It's honest work. So,
Feel like there's a buck coming.
not really.
What you you were talking about being an adrenaline junkie, and then you started working at a mechanic shop. That doesn't really sound like there's a lot of adrenaline going on.
I didn't mean to gloss over it.
Yeah, I was
Um,
a pirate last week. Stood up on my
many years
FBI.
ago, I used to street race.
Word. Just no good
It was the
hindsight.
first time I ever did something that
Hold on, I can't hear you.
made me feel
The traffic in this city is so
some kind of way. And it didn't hurt anybody. It was more the risk that I took and the love that I had for that. And it was one of the few times it made me happy. Because it didn't hurt anybody.
You're not planning on
Well, Sophie, they take
doing that, are you?
girl
Or
somewhere. No traffic. So
I'd be
cliche.
blatantly lying to you if I didn't say I've thought about it.
Right, later, babe.
I absolutely have thought about it. I almost caught a bullet to the head. And I was blessed with a second chance at life. And I told myself that I wanted to do the things that made me happy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to lie to you. Because if I did, and one day I ever found myself in a predicament where you saw me, then you'd know and call me a liar. Right now, I want to be a mechanic. Right now, I want to learn how to do the job. And right now, that is what I'm doing.
remind me again, how did Archie die? You were there that night.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't actually recall. That was a very hard day on duty for me.
Holy crap!
Okay. Justin DeMarco. Remember that one? Same night?
When I got on duty, I got a call from Maeve, and DeMarco had already been deceased. When I got there, I was informed about Archie. He was after DeMarco. I don't know what happened with DeMarco. When he was killed, I got on duty about an hour after that all happened.
Without going into any details, both of them were hit by speeding vehicles. And they died.
Hey, I haven't seen you at the Epsilon training. You okay?
So to say that street racing can't hurt anybody is, well, that's false. I'm not saying that they died in a street race, but you heard about Forte?
Did I forget about Forte?
I said, did you hear about Forte?
Yeah, 3 times accomplice attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
Forte was always a fucking nut.
What do you think about him now?
I think I'm not shocked that he went and did exactly what that man was always capable of.
What do you think the police think about him?
I don't think he cares.
No, what do you think the police think about Forte?
He's a cog in a wheel that got replaced. The police probably don't like him.
What do you think the police think about Suarez?
Not a clue.
What do you think about Suarez?
I think I haven't seen him in 7 years.
You think about doing criminal activity while you're a cop?
Every single chase was exciting. But no, I did not.
You know your brother was killed by a cop, right?
Come over anytime after 7. This homebrew will kick your little ass. I promise.
I know he was killed.
It's a raw vegetable app, a raw vegetable entree, and some kind of vegetable dessert.
He was shot in the back of the head by Brian Knight. You start going down this road, you're putting yourself in that same position.
I'm sorry, I've been loca so busy.
Because there's always going to be cops like Brian Knight. Trigger-happy cops.
Listen, why don't we go shopping at Deals and Dollars?
Like Brian Knight, Kyle Pred.
Don't you work with Pred?
You're fired.
But did you take the job knowing he worked there?
Yeah, I did. That was part of the reason, actually. Because I didn't trust anybody else to keep an eye on him. And between you and me, you know what my first case was? Investigating Kyle Pred.
Never call me back the next day.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Can you remind me how me doing something that I haven't even done yet, and the results of this conversation is that I'm gonna get shot in the back of the head for it after 3 weeks ago I had a gun held to the back of my fucking head, and I had to call and say goodbye to my family? For you to say that to me?
Because, Sean,
No. Nope. I want you to think about what you just said to me.
I have, and I will. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Because I don't want you turning into another TJ Walker. Because look where he's ended up. So if you hate me for this, so be it. But at least you'll be alive.
No. You know the difference? You know the difference between TJ and the comparison that you just made?
What's that?
The man sitting as a city council member was shot. And over 50 people drove to commemorate that man. Can you say the same for Aziz? Can you say the same for Rooker? Look where that ended up. I will always fucking love you. And that will never change. The comparison of being shot in the back of the head is the last thing I need right now.
Some pills are hard to swallow. But if you're thinking about doing crime already, I'm worried.
No, it was classic, man. A Woody.
Then be worried.
Oh, honey. I hate to say it, but I knew he was gonna cheat on your ass. Okay, you bring this on yourself and you know it, okay? The problem is, you just trust too much. The only way to be happy in love, girl, is to be suspicious of every word the motherfucker says.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
I need to talk to you.
Okay. What's happening? What's the matter?
I was honest with my father. That's what happened.
Okay. All right. Where are you at?
Currently going through Legion Square.
Okay. All right. Do you have a car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there somewhere you want to park up?
Do you have a car?
I do. I can drop my car off wherever. I don't care.
I want to make this clear. What I tell you is between us.
Yeah, of course. Oh! I'm sorry. I almost got a car accident. Okay. Yeah, of course.
Meet me, I don't even know. Just anywhere.
Okay.
Just pick a
Shit.
spot.
Yeah. Drop my car. Where can I drop my car? You wouldn't be comfortable with zipping up to the house, or?
Probably the only place I want to be right now.
Okay. All right. Fuck it. Let's go to the house.
All right. I'll see you in a minute.
All right. I'll see you there.
Hey.
Hey, I just got off the phone with Kizu. She said that Richard, after she dropped you off or dropped somebody off or something, Richard just canceled his doctor's appointment.
Just now.
After saying that he was still had trouble speaking or was, confused about some things, and he just texted her and said to cancel it. He's fine.
I'm having I don't know if I'll ever be honest with my father again after that conversation.
What happened? What?
It was Richard and Matt, and I wanted to talk to them alone. I didn't mean to delay your text or your
It's like,
calls.
you're fine. You could do whatever you want.
We talked about me retiring. We went back and forth. Matt said that he doesn't know if he'll ever want to have a relationship with Rue, and I said that is completely up to him. Matt said he had to go. I spoke with Richard one-on-one, and I got the age-old question what my plans were. And I told him that I got a job at Milton's, and then I had full plans on working with Mr. Mosley to try and figure out how to do the job. When I asked him, I said, I won't lie to you, because if I did, then that would hurt anything between us. I asked him what I've told him about my past, because I don't remember. And it was very minimal. And I told him that I used to be an adrenaline junkie, but that right now I was focusing my career being a mechanic. And he asked why I glossed over it, and I said I used to street race. I said it was one of the few times in my life that I was happy. It gave me a feeling like no other. He asked if I knew what happened to Archie Archer. He asked me if I knew what happened to DeMarco. I didn't remember. That day was incredibly fucking traumatic. He said that they were both hit by cars and that my innocence on doing it because I enjoyed it and it hurt nobody was false. And I was okay with that. And I was going to tell him that that's something that I understand. And he then asked me if I knew what happened to Cody. And he told me that Brian Knight shot him in the back of the head. And then he asked me what the PD must have thought about. I don't even remember. I was so pissed off. But he pretty much went down a line of ex-officers and he asked me what he thought the PD thought of those people. And I told him just more cogs in a wheel. Richard then told me, I mute my phone.
You know, I'll do the same. This is Irish. I'm just gonna tell him that I'm busy.
Mhm.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, I'm chatting with Flop. I'm gonna be a little bit. Yeah. Sorry. Go do your thing. Go have fun. I'll be around for a while. So. Okay. Later. Okay. Sorry.
You're fine. He went on to explain that all these officers were probably looked at negatively by the PD. And Richard admitted that there are people in the PD who are trigger happy. And that I would end up with a bullet in the back of my head if I went down this road.
That's
And
crazy to me. Sorry.
hold on.
Sorry. No. Okay.
No.
Yep.
This goes nowhere, so help me God. I do not want anything going back on Richard for what I'm about to say to you. He then looked at me and said, I don't want you to end up like another TJ, being shot. And I fucking lost it. And I told him that the government employee in a closed room was shot. And I told him that the difference between TJ and the police department was that TJ got recognition with over 50 people commemorating that man's life. I said to him that not only one, the disease not get any recognition, but Rooker did not either. And I told him that it was completely sinister and fucked up for him to assume that I were to have a bullet in the back of my head 3 weeks after I had guns held to me simply for being a fucking officer. And then Richard doubled down and said that it's a harsh truth, but I'm worried about this path. And I ended it by telling him to then worry about it. And I walked away.
You know, it's fucking. Yeah, you know, and maybe this is maybe this is his fucking brain injury talking for him right now. But I mean, I sort of am inclined to not believe that because, I mean, this has gone on for years, decades at this point. A cop killed his mom. A cop killed his son. Because you were a cop, you were almost killed. TJ went into a governmental position that was, I mean, he literally stayed out of everything club related because he wanted to do better for the city, and he was killed. I don't know what the high horse that he is riding, it doesn't fucking exist. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I gave up. I was honest with my father, and I gave up. I said, then worry about it.
I'm sorry. Rhodes was there. He said, what, a couple of things and then fucked off?
That
To
ended.
do what?
He wanted to know about my retirement. He wanted to briefly speak about what happened with Rue. And he ended it by saying that he loved me and that he supported my decision because the PD was a quote-unquote meat grinder, but that there were 3 cops around and he had to go.
Okay.
I'm giving Rhodes a defense on this. He was actually
Sure.
okay.
All right. All right. All right.
But when Matt walked away, Richard told me to pretty much shove it up my ass. I don't care what the people who quit or left. I don't care what the PD thinks about them. If anybody in that place was my fucking friend, they don't have to agree with it. But as long as they know that I am happier for it. And to hear my father tell me that my life of being an adrenaline junkie was going to end with me with a bullet in the back of my head. Was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ending up like another fucking TJ. The difference is that TJ got recognition. TJ was respected. And if the PD had announced their respect, they would have respected their own. And they didn't. And I almost became another fucking statistic for that PD. And I wasn't about to be that.
Mm-hmm. I'm torn between like okay, so yesterday I texted Richard a few times. Because I hadn't heard from him in a while, and I was, I had heard about him getting the job at the Marshall station. So I texted him. I said, congrats on the job. I know it's a big deal, and I don't want to downplay that. You'll be an incredible asset to them. I followed up with, I do fear that instead of processing things, you've instead dove back into work to avoid it, though. I know it's not easy to process this shit, so I get it. I'm here for you. The unresponsive, the unresponsiveness for these texts, because he hadn't replied to me. So the unresponsiveness for these texts sort of gives weight to that claim. Do you think distancing yourself will make it hurt less or be easier? I hope not, because it certainly doesn't. You really need to talk to Flop, regardless of what you're thinking or anything that occurs. You're still family to me. He didn't reply to any of that. I called him later because I saw a bunch of cops over at the marshal's office, and King came up to me and said that somebody had been shooting at the marshal's office, which means Richard, because I knew Richard was there. So I called him to check in on him, just to see that he was okay. He answered. It was a brief, it was a very short phone call. He didn't really talk to me about much. I said that um, or I said I already knew who likely was doing it, because I did. But I asked him, I was like, is this going to be like a continued issue? Like, are you going to be safe? And he said, frankly, that's Marshall business. I said, oh, I mean, of course, that's
His safety
understandable, but
is Marshall business.
right. He ended the phone
You know
call
what I
shortly
asked him?
thereafter.
Because he tried spiting me for doing something that was frowned upon. I asked him, I said, didn't you join the marshals with Kyle Pred there? And he told me something that, out of respect, although I'm going to reconsider that after processing whatever the fuck just happened, refrain from stating what he told me. But I do not, under any circumstance, have any idea how to process being spat on because I chose to finally do something that made me happy. I thought, regardless of how he'll react, he'll understand I'm doing it because it makes me happy.
Mm.
And at first, it was enough to burden. But when he compared me to TJ, he compared me to just ending up with another bullet in the back of my head. How the fuck do you process that? Because I can't.
Hmm. Listen,
Mind you, by the way,
Hmm.
government employee in a locked fucking room.
Yeah. Um. So I know that I'm not, uh, absolved of, having done bad things or morally deplorable shit. Um, but Richard is a hypocrite. And for him to, like I said, you know, to imply or even try to speak to you from, a proverbial high horse. It is unjust. He does his best to seek just that. So. Hmm. I so badly want to be able to convince him, just to have him understand the other perspective. Because I value Richard a lot, and just to hear how he's spoken to you, at least in that way, is
I was generalized. I was the exact thing that I vowed to not do as an officer. And he just proved to me again another reason why I'm happier that I left.
Hmm.
I don't care who he tells about me street racing. I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm turning to that crime. In the grand scheme of things people do, I'd like to think that one ranks pretty fucking low.
Hmm.
The last time I'm honest with him.
Hmm.
Who knows? It may be the last time I've spoken to him. But I can tell you for certainty. I have never been more disgusted in my father's view of me
Hmm.
to assume that I've decided to just turn to crime after telling him that I started with crime.
Hmm. So, Ed, hold on. Hey, Ed, what's up? What? What? Yes, Ed, I'm chatting with Flop. What's going on? That- Not right now, Ed. Not right now, Ed. No, goodbye, Ed. Okay, sorry. He's trying to get me to go fucking street racing right now. Okay.
I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to think. I retired with the good heart to look after him, and I told him that regardless, I will always love him. But that what he told me hurt. And his response, to some degree, was pretty much, sorry that the truth hurts.
That's the thing, though. It's not. It isn't. It's just it's his twisted sense of what may occur. I have been safer and happier doing what I have been doing for the better part of a year, coming up on a year in a few months. I've been shot once, and that's because I put myself in that situation. Don't get me wrong, you know, I had people looking for me for some time, but even if I had people around me that were constantly there, checking in, being supportive, whereas as a police officer, you're lucky to get one of those motherfuckers over the radio. I'm asking myself seriously whether or not I if oh god.
I know where this is already going, and I'm already mentally there.
No, I mean,
Let me explain. We have been putting ourselves in a situation to some capacity, not all capacity, but some capacity, not even looking for the approval, but the silver lining of the acceptance. And at this point, if they can't accept and love any of us, regardless, it's their choice. I am no longer going to tell them what I'm doing. And if Richard really wants the respect for me At this point, I'll have to fucking earn it because it's not worth my time to waste my breath anymore.
Mm.
Mind you, I'm lucky to be fucking breathing right now.
Mm.
And not for nothing, but he is too.
You know what's also crazy? I'm so fucking angry. You know what's also crazy about that? You know who actually went looking for him when this shit happened? With when he went to the fucking hospital? It was me, Maggie, Tally, and JT. Nobody else. The only cop that I saw show up at the hospital was Albert King. He's gonna lose another kid because he can't let go of this. Just
Not for nothing. But prior to all this happening, are you aware that Richard and Rue spoke?
uh,
Long story short,
mm,
Rue called and asked why he was a state marshal
mm,
and was concerned about tanks and was concerned about what they do. And Richard's response was that he was short and felt that Rue was being nosy. And yet, to some degree, I understand where he's coming from on that. But I told him that Rue deals with trauma with a state entity having access to tanks. And that if she called with concern about what you're doing, and she brought up the type of firepower that you have access to, I said out of respect, not picking Rue's side, I personally have a problem with that too.
mm.
And I reminded him that Rue is dealing with a lot. Specifically in regards to what you went through with Sanguine. And regardless of the side you picked on, we have all moved on. But there are still fucking scars.
Mm.
I said, so out of respect, it's not that Rue was thinking about herself, but that she's gun shy to what you've walked into. His response was that apparently it was because she's not concerned about what the marshals do for everybody. She's concerned what the marshals would do to her. And I reminded him again, she brought up tanks, not her group, not the ADMC. She called you directly. She has trauma. He will never see a different perspective. And at this point in my career, in my life, I don't care.
Mm.
This is horrible timing.
Speak of the devil.
I don't even think I can tell her.
It's okay. You don't have to right now. I'll talk to her if you need me to. Wait, well, Yeah, we don't. It's fine.
The thing he said about TJ goes nowhere.
Of course.
Because I defended TJ.
Hmm.
And if anyone else found out about what he said, they will kill him.
Yeah. Okay.
That she has access to 15 cars and she chooses to walk.
Our cars are parked at the station.
I know.
Fuck. What do I tell her?
I had a bad conversation with Richard. I don't care if you told her just about everything if you really wanted.
Actually, I want to know what Richard said to her.
Me too.
Hey, kid. Come back to the house. I see you. I'm I'm on the patio with Flop. Yeah, but yeah, come back. I see. Okay, how's your leg feeling? Yeah, I see that. You still got the limp though, huh? Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be up here. I'm just catch up with Flop on some stuff. Got a question to ask when you get up here. Okay. No, let me. Yeah, I'll see you up here.
Nothing about TJ.
We'll focus on her conversation with Richard. It's fine. Hey, kid.
How you doing?
I'm doing. Okay. I have a little serious question.
Mm-hmm.
How how did your phone call with Richard go yesterday?
I was gonna tell you about that. It went shit. I literally called him after Tally had said, "Hey, I just spoke with Richard." I'm like, I'm gonna call him, see if he's doing okay. Like, I've been sending him texts, just saying, "Hey, you doing alright?" Fuck, I've even left like food across the road, just He turns around and sounds like I'm calling a fucking business phone. He goes, "Fucking Richard Dark, State, fucking Marshal, whatever it was," and he kept asking if this was an inquiry. I forgot how it got to the point of him. When I kept pushing to see how he was doing, the phone call turned around. Well, he turned around and started saying, oh, "Fuck, I'm trying to remember how it went out." Oh, I asked him why he started working there. I guess he didn't like that, because he immediately started going on, "Oh, club this, me, I," in reference to me, and hung up the phone pretty quickly after that. I had called him back Because at the bare minimum, I wanted to tell him, just stay away from the block. I don't want you hurt.
Mm.
And he went from being cranky, having the shits, to when I said, hey, I care about you, he chucked a 180. And even in that 180, he said, if ADMC comes across his desk, he's not going to be conflicted. And he said to me that he suggested I leave the club if that was ever the case. Which is fucking wild to me, considering the ramifications of just leaving an MC. It's not, you just leave.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It completely, yeah. It rubbed me the wrong way completely. I think he was trying to get a reaction from me when he went on about the club this, club that stuff. And I didn't arc up. Because I remember a while ago he used a similar tone of voice when he went on about my drinking issues. Where I punched him in Tequila.
I remember.
Yeah. So I didn't give him that reaction. And that's when he hung up the phone call and I called him back. I am genuinely concerned he is a danger to the club.
Mm.
Therefore a danger to us. Considering his words over the phone.
Mm.
His speech pattern with me today is not good. I don't think he should be working. Truthfully, after today, let him do what he fucking wants.
Did you speak to him?
I either spoke to him or I said goodbye. I don't know yet.
Can I ask what was in the conversation?
It was Richard and Matt. Well, Short and Matt's, because it was a lot. He had to leave midway through. They wanted to know about me retiring. Why it took me a week to respond. I told them I wanted to talk in person. Matt had a back and forth about some stuff regarding my decision. He admitted the PD was a meat grinder. Your name came up. I asked if there was anything involving the family right now that should be addressed. We can go back to moving on, essentially. I'll be honest with you, Rue. Matt did say that after everything that happened with Judas, he does not ever see a future where he would want to have a personal connection with you. And I said that that's probably acceptable if that's the way that he sees it. As long as he understands that I will always have a reason for why I chose you. And I didn't even mention this to you, Ziggy. He brought up the what if tomorrow I get on duty and Rue shoots me, what happens? I admitted that, yeah, it's a what if, but yeah, that's not a situation I will know how to handle. Shortly after, Matt said he loved me, that if I ever needed anything, he'd call. Then he left because there were 3 cops on duty. spoke with Richard, and he asked what my plans were. And I figured, knowing how Matt is with honesty, I was honest with Richard and told him I had gotten a job at Mosley's and that I have intentions on enjoying my life. I told him I almost lost my life when Hydra picked me up. I almost lost everything when Hydra picked me up, and I said that when I retired, I wanted to do the things that made me happy. And I don't remember how much of my life Richard knew because of my injury. I don't have a lot of memories of my past with them. So I told him I used to be an adrenaline junkie, and that before I ever joined the PD, I used to street race. I told him that it was one of the first times it made me feel a certain way, and it was something that truly made me happy. Richard then brought up 2 people that died recently and said that they were both, for lack of a better term, hit by a car and killed, and that my happy, only affecting me stance was a hoax and bullshit, which was fine. Up until he then doubled down and asked if I knew what happened to my brother. And he told me that Brian Knight shot him in the back of the head, an officer. He then went on to ask me about Suarez and how he thinks the PD thought about him. They then brought up a few other officers, and like I told Ziggy, and this is the God's honest, I don't remember all the names he brought up because I was too angry. And he pretty much told me that I'm going to end up with a bullet in the back of my head if I go down this road. And I lost it and told him that 3 to 4 weeks ago, I pleaded for my life and almost had a bullet to the back of the fucking head. And for him, 3 weeks later, to tell me that I'll just end up with a bullet in the back of my head sent me the wrong way. And then he doubled down and said that the truth hurts, essentially. And that he's worried about this path. And I ended the conversation by telling him to be worried. And I walked away.
That's really shit to hear. Are you doing okay from that?
No. I'm really not. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not in the best state of mind right now, but you okay?
Mhm.
I told Ziggy what I will tell you. I have spent my entire memorable life in this family looking for the satisfaction of trying to find not even acceptance, but understanding the choices I made. I'm going to need time to think about it. But at this point, if they can't find the ounce of understanding from my perspective, then it's on them. I'm done with validation. I will always love them. That will never change. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting for the acceptance of the choices that I make, the validation of the things I do. I don't need it. I don't care what anyone else that quit is viewed at by the PD. But to go through a traumatic experience, be told by your own father, probably gonna end up with a bullet in the back of your head. Right after I almost took a bullet to the back of the head. That will never sit right with me. Truthfully, I may never find the acceptance for him.
Is there anything I can do at this moment to help? Does it help make you feel better to any extent?
You're already doing it. I'm probably going to distance myself from my fathers. They'd like to just say Richard. But we all know Matt's going to join Richard no matter what. And at this point, whatever they choose to do is up to them. I will no longer continue being honest with them. They broke my trust. Shut up, Doc. You fuck.
It's not fair that they've done all that shit to you.
I know. And maybe I'm just weak-minded, but I still love them.
You're not. It's not weak-minded at all.
What's up, Ziggy?
Just angry. Just angry. Just angry and sad.
I'm assuming he's trying everybody.
It's Ed.
Yeah, just called as well, yeah.
Yeah.
He called me too.
He's trying to get us to go to the night race.
More than likely.
No.
I know you guys have every reason to be just as upset. And you should. Please let them do whatever they're going to do. Because any intervention from any of us hasn't stopped them. It is not worth your energy.
I disagree. I want to talk to him. I want to yell at him more than anything right now, but I just want to talk to him.
I was gonna say, I'm tempted to just go to a payphone and start screaming down it.
Don't make it worse. If you want to talk to him, you guys do what you want to do. Just don't make it worse.
Ball's in their court.
I don't disagree. Matt is going to get whatever variance of that conversation from Richard. Richard's speech pattern has deteriorated. It's hard to assume if it's even worth talking to Matt or not.
Hmm.
My only favor is that you guys are just smart about how you approach it. I don't know what Richard's doing right now. But I'd hope after what you told me with Kizu, he doesn't do something stupid.
What kind of stupid?
Drinking and driving.
Hmm.
Could kill somebody.
Hmm. I need to walk.
Diggy.
Not going far.
I don't want him going alone. Let's go.
I'm sorry.
Got nothing to apologize for.
I feel like I've been the catalyst for all this.
You're not.
Richie wouldn't have been in the hospital if I hadn't told him about Judas.
How he chose to do things is not your fault. You know where he's going.
No.
Where'd you go?
I'm not far. Rue's here. I'm okay. I need.
I know. I know. I don't judge you. I get it. I lost you by the house. I don't know which way you went. Did you go toward the beach?
Near the trail, near the police station that goes down towards the hunting lodge.
There's a cat over there. Just be careful.
Yeah, I know.
See ya.
Yeah.
You need a tissue.
No.
There you go.
Thank you.
you okay?
I'll be alright, kid.
You're doing the right thing.
Hmm. Um, yeah, we'll get this figured out. If it's okay, I think I want to be alone for a bit. I love you both, but I just
I'll only go 100 meters away and keep you within eye shot.
Mhm.
You do whatever you need to do. Hey, I know you're smart.
I'm not going anywhere.
I know. Just call.
I will. If you need to sleep, I'll be home tonight. So.
Okay. Can you make me one promise?
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to talk, just be reasonable and know that I've already made up my mind.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, it is hard to have an emotional detachment when I have already detached. So please do not do it on behalf of me. I'll be okay. I promise. I'll leave you be.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll be okay, kid. Go with your dad.
Okay. I drew you an eagle.
I see. Thank you. It's a good eagle.
I'll at least give you a hug before leave you be for a bit.
Yeah. I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
I'll be around for a bit, kid. I just gotta sit.
Hey, call me if you need anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here at the drop of a hat if you need anything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. Keep him in your sight and make sure he's okay.
I'll do that.
You came around right as I told him. I'm personally going to be okay.
That's going to be, so at the moment you're not doing okay.
I still need to process my conversation with Richard. But it it's gonna take me about a day to figure things out.
Take as much time as you need to figure that out.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
I know. And you're right. I'm gonna
I
ask.
don't think a day.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I say I don't think a day will be enough.
It may not be. But I do have the feeling that I've already sort of made up my mind. Can I ask a favor from you that I had a hard time telling him?
Yeah.
With everything going through his mind. And regardless of what Richard told me, and regardless of what happened to me, please reassure him if you get a chance, because I have to go to sleep. That this does not have to resort to violence. And we will figure this out as a family.
Checkup? I don't need a checkup. Did she not put you up to this?
I didn't expect it to
Oofa,
resort
stop being
to
a little
that.
bitch.
Or even wanted to.
I don't either. I just don't want to see him do something that he'll regret.
I hear that, oof.
It is my only ask.
I'll do everything in my power to avoid that.
If you want to go keep an eye out on him, that's up to you. But
Mm-hmm.
just let him know it's going to be okay.
I will. Do you have any food or water I can steal?
I
Or
don't
borrow?
right now.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Need some money to go get some?
No, I can cover it.
Alright. I hate to go on short term, but if you need anything, you give me a call.
Same goes for you.
You need to borrow the car.
I've got my car down the road. I should be okay.
If you need to take the Granger, it's there. So,
Thank you.
I'll let you do your thing. Call if you need anything.
Okay. Just do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Take as long as you need to process it. I don't want to see you bottling this up.
I will. I'll take all the time I need. And I will reach out if I need anything.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I'll chat to you tomorrow.